Alright guys, I just wanted to videotape this unboxing. I got this lightsaber off the RPF from one of their members. It's a Katarn, and it took a lot of deliberation just to get it. And once it was shipped to like 3-day UPS. And I got here, this is from another country, I believe it's from Holland. And anytime I get a package that's this beat up, and you can hear the stuff just moving around inside freely like that, it looks like he actually used blue painter's tape instead of packing tape to box it up. I'm going to do this on video. So here we go. We're going to cut the painter's tape. And take this out, and yeah, that's pretty awful. It's beat up really bad, really bad machining. I asked for it to not have any of the marks on it, and it's already been painted. This honestly looks like the rough version of it. And yeah, wow, this is inappropriate for the price that I paid for it. So these look 3D printed, which I think was part of it, but they would sit like that. But there's marks, there's deep gouges in the metal. Yep. It also appears to be one solid piece. I thought the pommel would come off, but that may just be my own fault for assuming that it was a little more electronics friendly. Yeah, this is probably not unsavable, but it's pretty bad. Just again, you can just see some of the marks. And now this is straight out of the box, and this was not asked to be weathered or painted. It's just supposed to be the aluminum hilt. And yeah. Try to see if I can get whatever this is on there. The inside of it, I'm not sure if this is like a 1 inch to, that's just weird to have that space like that and on the inside. I have to take this thing a little further apart and see what's going on inside of it to see if it's even worth keeping. But yeah, I would be wary of this. Anybody who's waiting. I asked for a refund because I had been promised that it would ship for over a month with repeated missed shipping dates. And, you know, this is what I get in the mail. And yeah, I I think it speaks for itself. Alright, I just wanted to continue my unboxing and kind of review of the Katarn that I purchased from a member of the RPF. I originally wasn't going to put his name out there, but kind of after I got in the box, I realized that it needs to be. This is VenomCF's Katarn. Of course, I think anybody that's on the RPF knew that he was doing a run of these, and I think he's about the only person that's doing a run of these in the last couple of years. I haven't seen many. That's why I chose to pick it up. I got in on the run late. There was an extra one that somebody had backed out of, and I emailed him, said, hey, I'll pick it up. I can pay today. Is it going to ship next week? He said, probably. Picked it up. 2 weeks went by. Checked back in with him, said, hey, did it ship yet? He said, no, it hasn't shipped yet, but maybe in a week or so. And then he said that he was on vacation, and that kind of put him back. And then he said that he had to rework some of the hilts, and that kind of put him back. And then he promised like a Wednesday, and then he promised on a Monday, and then finally, I think it was on a Tuesday that I said, hey man, I either want my money back or I want the hilt to be shipped with tracking. So I don't know what's going on. You've been, you keep putting me off, and you're not giving me really good reasons for why it can't ship. So we kind of talked back and forth, and he said, I'm going to get it in the mail. Next day I got tracking. Next day it was picked up, even though it had been told to me that it had been picked up the week before. But then all of a sudden now it picked up on the tracking. So anyway, 3 days later, here we are. I've got it. It's in my possession. And I opened the box. And you've probably already seen my open box video where we discussed how poorly it was shipped. Didn't have any packing material in it. It had painter's tape to seal the box. And as you turned the box up and down, it just made a lot of a funky noise. When I took the hilt out of the box, I mean, I don't know. This is like something you would find on somebody's prototype workbench of the final version, which makes me kind of think that because I asked for a refund and he knew he was under the gun, he had to send me something. So he went and picked up the first hilt that he had that was ready. Now, I requested the hilt that did not have any paint on it. I just wanted it plain, and it has black paint. Now, I don't know what kind of paint this is. I don't know if it's powder coat or anything, but I had plans on making this part the copper. So I'll have to pull all this black paint off of it just to get started on that. Second thing is, there is some sort of staining. It looks like glue tape. But again, until I start cleaning the hilt, I won't be able to know what that is. I don't know if you can see it, but it just looks like some sort of residue. But aluminum can be stained. I don't know if that's the case. So I don't want to knock him on that too hard, because that might just rub out. But that's not something I expect from a brand new hilt machine. Also, these marks, these are just crazy. This is just crazy marks. It looks like it had been maybe powder coated and then put on, I don't know, with sandpaper, just run. And the edges aren't sharp. I do give him that. None of the edges are sharp, but that's looks terrible for a plain machined hilt. Coming on down, I was wrong in the initial video. The pommel does come off. No venting for sound, though. But that's okay. I don't think it was advertised to have venting for sound. So that may just be on me. But I will show you. Can you see that in there? That's machining dust. That's from where it was machined. Probably these holes all drilled out and wasn't cleaned. It's been a long time since I've bought a lightsaber or any prop from anywhere that had that in it. I mean, that right there is a sure sign that somebody doesn't know what they're doing in the business place. I mean, the actual cutting of the hilt is not that bad. Like I said, no sharp marks. It actually screws on really well and screws off. All the holes are drilled, looks basically correctly. So there's all the lining, it's all lined up correctly. But to allow a product to go out the door like that is unprofessional. This part right here was interesting. So the inner diameter of the hilt is actually pretty big. I'm guessing it's probably like MHS, But this is a 1-inch converter that'll just drop down in there. And it kind of pressure fits, but it also has a little screw that holds it into place, a little set screw. And then inside it, it has a heat sink that has a set screw. And he did ship it with a lens that maybe I'll use on another project, because I'd put a tricree in here and some sort of, I've never seen this type of holder before, but again, this is from another country, so that could be something that was just easily supplyable to him. The 3D printed buttons are okay. They're obviously going to need a lot of work, a lot of sanding and some painting, priming, and kind of a switch solution that I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. But I've got 2 extras, though, which he seemed to be very proud to mention that he sent. And so hopefully that'll let me experiment with at least one of them and see what it can do. Now, one of the craziest things I think I saw on this hilt, this right here is the screw that was sent to hold this to the hilt. Okay? So it almost goes more than half the diameter into the hilt. Now, in his installs, you know, that may actually be part of the way he installs. His chassis may be held in place with that screw additionally, and so that's ignorance on my part, which could be the case. But if not, then obviously that screw is going to have to be changed out, because it's going to hinder installs unless I use it as, like I said, some sort of placement screw, holding screw. So I really want to say that I'm disappointed overall. I actually have made very few unboxing videos, and this has probably been my worst experience with any seller on the RPF, the Rebel Armory, Facebook. Not because he doesn't talk to you. In fact, he was very good about returning messages, but the facts that he gave were, you know, hit or miss. Honestly, I think he really only told me the truth once. Then I get this in the mail, and the only reason that I'm not going to request my money back is because by the time I fight him with PayPal and I mail this back for who knows how much money, I probably could have done the work and sold it and made a little bit of money. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep it or if I'm going to sell it or what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to kind of rest on it tonight, and because I'm just not happy. And a lot of times I make poor decisions when I've gotten unhappy. So I'm going to kind of rest on it tonight and see what I'm going to do about it tomorrow. I'm going to post these videos on the RPF and maybe to Facebook, just so that other buyers can be aware of what my experience was. I'm probably going to post some of the Facebook messages, because they kind of tell the story of this repeated just putting me off. And then when I kind of called him out on it, this is what I get. And I hope you guys aren't getting this in the mail. I really hope that y'all get what you kind of thought you were going to get in the mail. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I would say. Again, this is just weird. It's just a weird thing, the way he did this. I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's almost like pressure fit. Okay, so this slides into there, and then it catches a little bit. So it has, and I don't know if it catches because that needs to be sanded a little bit from where they tap the screw, and it just needs it because it's so. But then it sits almost flush instead of sitting in and giving it kind of attitude like you see in the actual prop. It just kind of barely lines up flush with it, which is something that I'm going to probably work on. If I do, I'll have it sit a little deeper so it gives it that personality, I think, that the some of the other hilts. But yeah, just wanted to bring y'all's attention to it. Like I said, I hope everything works out for the best for the rest of the buyers. And I'm going to steer people away from this guy forever. So thanks for your time.